All right, there we go. Sorry, ignore that echo. Yeah, you had 2 naps there for a second. Nobody wants that. I can barely handle 1. All right, I hope everybody's having a good day today. Welcome to halfway through the week, and hopefully, if you had the day off, I hope you had a good holiday yesterday for Veterans Day. Hello, Coco. Good to see you. Good to see you here. And hello, Pirate. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening. Yeah, we're I think let's just go ahead and let's kind of get started here because I don't really have much to report on, since we last did this only a few days ago, but starting to sound like Americans have too many holidays. Hey, I would make the argument we don't have enough holidays. Because you know what? We might not have we might have more holidays, but we don't have nearly as much paid vacation as you guys get over in Europe. So I would gladly trade that than having holidays, as many holidays as we do. Yeah, the only thing I will say is that where I am right now, it is starting to actually feel like winter, and it's getting cold. And it is, and I dislike it. I know I'm in the minority here, but I actually don't like winter. Hey, Coco, good to see you. 40 days, 40 days a year? Jesus, man. I get like 2-3 weeks. Like, oh God, that is, ugh. Damn. That is, I wish 40 days a year. That sounds amazing. God, yeah, that would be so nice to have 40 days a year. But part of the reason why I'm not, speaking of work, part of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of wintertime is because of, where I work and everything and my schedule. It works out where during the winter, because the days are so much shorter, because that is the one of the things I hate about winter is I hate the shorter days because I actually like sunlight. Hello, Neff. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Because of where I work, I basically arrive at work while it's still dark out. And when I am working, I'm working in a windowless room, sometimes in a dark windowless room, comparing with just a small light, depending on what I'm doing. And then I leave my windowless room, and then it's dark outside when I leave work. So I'm basically getting and seeing no sunlight all day, and it sucks, and I hate it. Hey Coco, I see you still haven't fixed your keyboard yet. Hopefully, but at least the hyphens are working out, so that's good. I can still at least understand what you're saying. Yeah. So and also I'm just not a fan of cold weather. For me, cold affects me way more than hot. Maybe it's just because I grew up in more of a hotter place and I'm more used to it. But for me, I would much rather deal with hot weather than cold weather. And I know I'm in the minority of that opinion. But yeah, it's ugh. So that's why I'm a little I wish it wasn't becoming wintertime. As much as I do like Christmas. I do like Christmas, but maybe I should go to Australia where it's it's summertime for Christmas. I understand that my life has no windows, so come into work in the darkness and leave in the dark. Yep, it's the exact same thing for me. Yeah. It's just it just makes me depressed. I think let's go ahead and let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. So today we are on our final our final antique photo that we're going to be researching today. So hold on, let's see. So let me pull up, or hold on, let me move me real quick. Make myself a little smaller here. My brother is in OZ, and he can't deal with temps below 20 Celsius anymore because it's so damn hot compared to here all year. Yeah, no, well, it's kind of like the opposite, how, like, it's like the joke is, like, in the UK, like, when it gets, like, oh, I don't remember what the temperature was, but it was, like, I remember seeing a post on Twitter, and it was, like, when you guys are having, like, your, like, heat wave this summer, and it was a post of a guy, like, showing, like, his thermometer, like, outside thermometer, and it's like, I have to work outside all day today, pray for me, and it was in Celsius, and then someone quote retweeted it. I don't remember what it said in Celsius because, classic American, we use freedom units here, but it said, a top retweet was that it's 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And everybody, all the Americans were like, that is nothing. Some people keep their houses at 78 degrees. But I understand that, like, for a place like the UK that's not used to it, it can be, it's what you're used to. It's what you grow up around. And there's nothing Americans, Americans love nothing more than, like, comparing and, like, showing how much tougher or better they are with, like, their weather. That's a very American thing that we do here. But okay, so let's go ahead and let's show, just as a little recap of what we've been doing here. So these are the photos that we've done so far. These are the 4 that I got from the antique store, and let's see. We've done the top row, the top 2, and the bottom right one, the older man. And to go through them real quick, so we did this one first, Miss Edna North. This is the first one we did, and we were able to actually find this exact photo in her college yearbook. So this is her graduation photo. This was an amazing stream where we discovered this. And then we did this one, which is of a young boy named Clayton Grant, who initially, when I researched, when I started this research, I actually thought this was a girl, but then I quickly realized that, and I was also reading the name on the back of it wrong. I thought it said Playton, but it was actually Clayton. And we were able to find him, and he went on to become an electrical engineer and own a farm up in Maine, and lived to be, I think, like 90 years old. Really long life. And then our last stream, which was a crazy stream, was... Oh, where is it here? There it is. This guy, William M, or M.A. I'm not entirely sure still how to pronounce it. But this guy's story was crazy. Like, we discovered that he was born in Germany. He became an orphan at 2 years old. Then at 18, he immigrated to the U.S. by himself. Not long after he immigrated, he joined the U.S. Army as a musician for a fort. And unfortunately, we don't know exactly which fort because each record I found gave a conflicting thing. But he also was, during this time, he was also serving... This is also during the U.S. Civil War. And he also volunteered during that as well for the Union Army. And then after the war, he moved to a small town in Pennsylvania and became a tailor. And became a very popular tailor because we found hundreds of newspaper articles filled with his ads for his tailor shop in the local newspaper. And he was very popular, very well known. He was married twice because his first wife unfortunately passed away. But overall, between his 2 marriages, he had 14 children and had his tailor business for about 30 years. And was also very involved in the community for helping run like Veterans Day and Memorial Day parades. He was involved in like other societies, like fraternities and stuff like that. Just a really cool, interesting life and story that we found with this guy. And then that brings us to today, where this is our last one. And this is going to be by far our most difficult one, I think. And I saved that one for last. So this young boy here, we can see on the back here, it looks like his name is Lester. First name is Lester. That's pretty obvious. And it looks like Cates, Cates, from the looks of it. At first I thought that was an R, but then I realized the R in Lester looks different than that. So I think it's actually an S. So I think it's either Cats or Cates. I think it's Cats. So that's what we're going to start with. And we can see here at the bottom of the image, it was taken in Des Moines, Iowa. Now, Des Moines is not a, I mean, it's not a super big city, but it's a fairly populated place. And I'm hoping that this is a unique enough name that we won't have anything. We'll have enough information to hopefully narrow it down to at least there's not as long as there's not more than 2 Lester Cates living there, we'll be good. When is your next estate sale to restock on old photos, etc.? I mean, honestly, actually, it's funny you bring that up. I actually have a friend who knows that I collect this kind of stuff, and she sent me in the mail a huge collection of old postcards from like 1900s, 1940s. And I think that's going to be the next thing I want to do a little bit of research on, is looking at some of those like postcards and using the dates and the addresses on those postcards to learn about the people they were sent to. Kind of like we did with that one. What was her name? Rose? I think her name was Rose. That one person from West Virginia that we researched that one stream, where we had like multiples of her postcards. Like I think we had like 5 or 6 postcards. Yeah. I should see if there are some random ones around here and see if you can track some Irish or English photos. Non-relations to me, just random ones. That would actually be really cool. I mean, I don't know how good Ancestry is with. I think they have a good selection of like English records and like Irish records, but I think most of their focus is like American. But I think they do have a good selection of like European records too. So maybe we could do that. I'm just not because that would also be. I could scan them in and send them to you on Twitch. Actually, what might be better is I could give you my not a professor email that I have, and you could actually you can just send them to me that way. That might be better. Than trying to send them through a Twitch chat, because also my Twitch chat, I don't allow links in it, so I think that would actually be better. But yeah, that'd be something that could be cool. And what I would need on it for doing that is if we were to do something like that, it would have to be photos that have like the place where the photo was taken, like on the front, like these ones do, like how it says like Des Moines, Iowa, and it would have to have the full name on the back of it or somewhere on it. Yeah, back and front, so that way I can get all the information. Because unfortunately, it's not really possible to do this type of research unless you have a full name associated with it. That's like the only way that this is possible. If we because otherwise you have nothing to go off of at all. So I think with that, some of them might have information on them that I could add supplementary. Yeah, that's also something you can do too. If you know things, yeah, as much information, the more information, the better with this stuff. That's the most helpful thing, honestly. But all right, I think with that though, let's go ahead and let's start our final stretch and see if we can figure out if we can find Lester and figure out more about him. All right, so. So Lester. I'm hoping Lester is like, it's not a super common name. So I'm hoping it'll be good enough. And then... Oh, whoa, there's two? There's two counties for Des Moines? Okay, well, I guess we'll try. We'll try this one first. And also with this one, we don't have a year. That's the other bad thing, is that we don't have a year. Next time I'm home, we'll get a hold of my grandfather. Has a collection of old photos from just people who were from where he grew up. Ooh, okay, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, random. Those are always the most fun ones, are when it's like random people. All right, so yeah, so let's try this Polk, Iowa one. Actually, you know what? Let's just change it to Polk, Iowa. Actually, no, wait, no. It'll actually... I'll set it up... Oh, no. Okay, let's just search this real quick. Okay. Let's do... State. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a few things here. So there's a few Lesters here. Lester George seems to be a common one. Okay, and Lester George was... Okay, he was born in Iowa in 1903. And, hold on. Again, we have no idea... We have no idea when this photo specifically was taken. There's no year on it. And if I had to... I mean, I'm not great at guessing kids' ages, but, like, just looking at the photo... He looks like... He might be, if I had to guess, maybe like 9 or like 8 or 9 or like 8 to 10, probably in like that range, which would make this photo around, if he was born like 1903, that would make this photo around 1911 to like 1914, roughly. Yeah, middle school age. Yeah, kind of like I would say like early middle school age. Like 10 or like 9, 10, 11 maybe, like in that range. But it's the only thing we could go off of is we do have the name on the bottom of for the photographer. It looks like Edinger, Edinger. And we could maybe see if we can figure out, if we can't figure it out from this, we can figure out where or when that photography studio was around. So that gives us maybe like a year range in that case. Yeah, so Lester George seems to be a common one. Yeah, okay, hold on. Iowa births. Lester George Cats. I'm gonna be prepared for me to switch in between Cats and Kates throughout this whole thing. Yeah, this says he was born December 12th, 1903. Let me do a quick search real quick and see, is there anything... Okay. Oh, wait, what is this? Uh, okay, yeah, Edinger is a photographer from that time. Do we know... Do we know anything about... let's see, hold on. I found this. This is from the Des Moines University archives. JPEG, University student. Edinger. So yeah, so Edinger was, this is from 1904. So there was an Edinger, you know, in there around this time. It's just a question of, like, you know, if we knew what his like what his history was. Cabinet card of gallery. Oh, okay, hold on. Look at this. Okay, cabinet card gallery. And look at that. It's the same. This is the exact same bottom as the photo that we have. It's the exact same. This cabinet card is an addition to this blog's extensive beard category. I mean, that is a great beard. The gentleman subject of this photograph is identified as Judd Henshaw. The photographer is W.C. Edinger of Des Moines, Iowa. Edinger was an accomplished photographer. His work appeared in the Photo Beacon magazine in 1897 and is mentioned in Photo Miniature magazine in 1901. Edinger was also the secretary of the Photographers Association of Iowa. Do we know the year that the photo was taken? Because that's the same, like, you know, his logo and everything on the bottom here is the same as the one that we have. So that can give us an idea, because if it's before 1903 or around 1903, or it'd have to be 19, like, because this is 1903 is when he was born. That means by 1910, or like, or no, he would. This would have to be from like 19. It'd be around like 1913, 1914 is when this photo would have been taken. And is this all the same? What is this one? Lester Cade's Born, residence date 1921. I think this is the same guy, right? This one, Hiram Cates, Leah Thompson, Stella. Huh. That might be? I don't know. Okay. I mean, it looks like there's only like one Lester Jones. Because before, when we had it here, or Lester Cates, sorry, I just read Lester Jones there. He seems to be kind of like the only one that comes up. Because hold on, this one, Lester George, this is the one. Is there anything in the gallery? Okay, there's no media in the gallery. He was born, okay, 1900, yeah, that's the same one that we found before. Here's the question, though. If this is the right Lester that we're supposed to be looking for, how did I get this photograph? Because I bought this photograph in Maine. I bought this in Maine. And he lived not only in Iowa, he died in California, apparently. July 14th, 1996. How would this have ended up there? Because I thought, like, okay, maybe one of his, like, siblings, like, but then looking at all of, like, his siblings, like, his brother died in Iowa, or Illinois. Okay, that's his wife, and then his other brother died in New Mexico. Dang, his one brother, Kenneth, was 101 years old. Wow. Oh, those are all of his siblings. And he was the youngest by a decent amount, actually. So, I mean, if there aren't any other Lester Cates in Illinois during this time, if I just change, like, state and adjacent states. Like, George, I feel like this guy seems to be our guy. Oh, hello, Mary. Thank you for the bonk. Yeah, because, okay, Lester Allen, but his birth is 1942. That's way too late. Yeah, and this marriage is 1947. That's also too late. All right. Let's see. Lester G, Lester M, marriage 1947. A lot of these are like, Illinois. I think I don't think there's really anything else. Yeah, I don't want to look up. Those are more modern phone numbers and directories. I'm not going to look at those. Yeah, birth 1955, 1957. Birth 1929. Yeah, that's too late. I think it's I mean, considering that just narrowing down to state and adjacent states in terms of like the records, the fact that Lester George seems to be our number one candidate, I I think this is him. I think we found our guy. Okay. So yeah, I think we found him. I think this is him. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way harder. This was actually easier, I feel like, than some of the other ones we had. Um okay. So let's look at some of these and let's start learning more about him. So yeah, this is his birth record. Oh, it didn't. I thought it was gonna highlight it, and I was waiting for that. Uh, oh. Uh, where did I miss it down here? No. Whoa. Whoops. That was weird. Ignore that. Pretend that didn't happen. Um. Oh, here it is. Lester. Lester George. Yeah, December 12th, 1903. Layla T. Thompson. Hiram is his father's name. His mother's name is Leah. Born in Seymour. Where is Seymour? Hold on, let me look that up real quick. So that can give us an idea if that is near Des Moines. Ah, for some reason I can't type today. Okay, here we go. Here's Seymour. Where is that? Okay, I mean, it's not like super. It's not super far away, but it's not close. It's a tiny, small town, blinking you missed it kind of place. I don't think it even has like a stoplight. Maybe they... Okay, well, let's see. That's just where he was born. Let's look. Okay, so hold on. Okay. The first census that he would show up in is this 1910 census. So let's look at that. Let's see if we can learn more about his parents and his upbringing. Yeah, home in 1910, Seymour, Wayne, Iowa. Okay. So let's see. So this is the same person. That's just good. Okay, yeah, Hiram, Estella. Yeah, and Kenneth and Ronald are his older brothers. 12, 14, 6, 39, 40. I'm going to guess, being the fact that they lived in rural Iowa, that his father was a farmer. Let's see. Proprietor restaurant. Whoa, look at that. That was not on my... I was not expecting that at all. A restaurant. Saleswoman, or... What? Dresswoman, that is... Dressmaker, that is not what that says. Ancestry's transcription readings, that's definitely saleswoman for the restaurant. Wow. So they owned a restaurant. Yeah. They were all from Iowa, all born in Iowa. Years of marriage, 16. So they got married when they were roughly 20... Oh my god, can't do math. 24, roughly? 23, 24. And they've had 3 children, and wow, they didn't have any... All 3 of their children lived, which is honestly great for this time period. Okay. So then let's pull the 1920 census, which I know was I know I saw it on here. Oh, I know, hang on. There's an Iowa census for 1905. We don't have the picture, unfortunately. It's just like the actual like record information. (1904) There's this year 1905, Wayne, Iowa. Doesn't really have any... Most state censuses aren't nearly as detailed as like the national census that happens. Oh wait, hold on. I don't remember seeing this on the thing. Is this a more detailed, like an actual birth certificate? Hold on. Seymour Wayne. Wait, hold on. What is this? Iowa State Department of Health. Delayed births. Oh, wait. Is this like... Oh, after the fact? Hold on. That I, W.H. Ernest, being duly sworn, depose and say that I am 91 years of age, that I have known the person named herein for 36 years, that I reside at Seymour in the county of Wayne, state of Iowa, that the answers given the following questions are true and correct, as I very believe. Only a child, Lester George Cates. Place of birth, county of Wayne, city of Seymour, township of Walnut. Street, North 4th Street. Hold on, where is that? Uh, 5th Street, 4th Street, North 4th Street. So somewhere along here, probably. It's where he lived. Okay. Wow, that says a lot of... Okay. That's a child, male, one only, 3rd child, legitimate child, date of birth, December 12th, 1903. The name of physician, midwife, or other person attending the birth. Oh, okay, so he was the doctor. Okay. So that's why he's, you know, he has the right of saying this. Imperium. Birthplace, state, country, Appanoose County, Iowa. At age, time of birth, 33. Occupation, time of birth, minor. Wow. So he didn't own a restaurant at the time of his birth. The restaurant was a later thing because he's a minor here, and his mother, also from the same part of Iowa. Yeah, 33, housewife. This is in 1940. So yeah, when he would be about 36 years old. So yeah, so I guess maybe they lost his birth certificate, or they didn't have one properly registered, and so they did this at a later date. And thankfully, even if he's 91 years old, like, it's great that he was able to, like, you know, still be alive and, like, do this and fill this out for him. Wow. This is actually, and this has a lot of good information on, like, his parents especially, and does, you know, help confirm what we've already found. Okay. Let's see. I could have sworn there was a 1920. Okay, there it is, 1920 census. That's originally what we were looking for. Okay, so the 1920 census. So according to this, so this is, yeah, 10 years later, 16 years old, which is right. Still, yep, still the 5 of them all living together. He's 16, his brothers are 21, 24, his parents are both 40, 49. Estella and Hiram, they are living in Walnut. So wait, so where's Walnut? Okay, this is a different Walnut. That's a completely different... Hold on, wait, it was because it's Wayne County, right, that they say? Yeah, Wayne County. Where's Wayne County? Where does that, like, start and end? Wayne County, Iowa. Okay. Yeah, so right on the... Okay, Seymour's right on the edge. It always is, like, I'm not used to this because, you know, I didn't grow up at all in the Midwest, but it's crazy to me how, like, how small and, like, how square all of the counties are in, in, like, the Midwest because of all the, oh my God, I'm blanking on the official terms for them, but it was basically, like, the land ordinances that the U.S. government gave out during the time, and how they split up land. And after you having so many people in a certain amount of area, it could become a county, and then it could become a state. And so because of that, all of the counties, like, in, like, all over the Midwest here are all squares like this. Oh, look, and they got a New York where there's, like, nothing. I don't think that's the right New York. And a Harvard. They're stealing all the names here. Okay, let's see. The next... Okay, so... But there's no... I don't see a Walnut. Maybe it's, like, one of those places that, like, it was so small that it doesn't really exist anymore? So Cleo... Cambria... Yeah, it's possible that it just doesn't even, like, exist anymore. Hold on. Let's see. History. The first coal mine. Okay, they have coal mines. And it said that his father was a miner, so that makes sense. Oh, you can see here also all the counties in Iowa and how they're all squares. So let's see, is there anything about like, let's see, 1912, mine worker. It's all about mines. I was gonna see if like there was a thing talking about like, hold on, is there a thing for Walnut in here? Oh, townships, Walnut. Walnut Township was named from Walnut Creek. Does it have any idea of where it is? Hold on. Walnut Township, Wayne County. Okay, here we go. Where is it? Oh, it's this whole area. Is considered Walnut Township, apparently. It's not just... Huh, okay. Maybe it got like Seymour got like incorporated it, maybe? Because if we just search up Seymour... Yeah, Seymour only includes like that little bit of it. Okay. But either way, 1920. Do they still own the restaurant? I hope they still own the restaurant. Come on. Oh. Grocery store. Interesting. Okay, so they don't have the restaurant anymore. So they were constantly changing businesses. So they had a restaurant, and now they are a merchant and sales lady for the grocery store. His older brother Kenneth is a bank administrator, and his brother Ronald is a bookkeeper, civil service. So some sort of like local government probably thing. He's being a bookkeeper for. What does that say? Fortunately, that's like too small to really, and too sloppy to like really understand what it is. Okay. Let's move on then to 1930 census. So he'll be 26. Maybe he'll be married. Oh, for this one, this is Chicago. Lester G. Kate. Yeah, this is him. He's 26. Yeah. Born in Iowa. Okay, yeah, this is him. Parents born in Iowa. What is he doing? What does that say? Clerk? Oh, I think it's clerk. Telephone manufacturer. Interesting. Okay, so he moved to Chicago in 1930. Telephone manager. Huh. Okay. But he's by himself. Is he living in like a... Where's he living? YMCA. He's staying at the YMCA. Look at that. Sears Roebuck apartment. Dang. If I was any confident in my singing, I would actually start singing the YMCA, but I am not going to do that. All right. So then, now that we have that, 1940. So he's 36 here. And now he is married. Oak Park, Cook, Illinois. Is Cook Park, is that the... Okay, yeah, so he's still living in the Chicago area in Illinois. He has a wife, Marion. They're living at 911 Humphrey in Oak Park. Okay. Iowa. What does he do? He's an auditor. He's an auditor for a department store? Interesting. Hold on. Huh. Okay, yeah, so it sounds like he was an auditor specifically for a department store. We don't know what department store. So he must have met his wife, Marion, when he was living in New York. Does it say how long they've been married? Oh, it says here neither of them attended school. She's 31, he's 36. Yeah, we don't know when they got married. It doesn't look like they have any kids. And then, what about, okay, the next one is the 1950 census. He's 46. Where is he? Wait, what? And their son, John. He's only 2 years old. Wow, so they had a kid. They had a kid way later in their life in their marriage. 46, 41, yeah. They're married. What is he doing? Profit analyst. Retail mail house order. Huh. Wow, that's a... Very, at least by the 1950 census, they got pretty descriptive with what their jobs were, which is nice. Profit analyst. Retail mail order. So like Sears? Like a Sears company? Like a Sears catalog company? Something like that? Because it does say in the 1930 census that he is working for Sears because he's living in the Sears apartments. And in 1940, he is a... What does it say? Yeah, an auditor for a department store. And Sears, along with being mail order, they also did start opening department stores. And it would make sense in a big city like Chicago to have a department store. Interesting. I wonder how long he stayed, because unfortunately this is the last census record we have, because census records don't go beyond this time. Oh, hold on. What's this state census record? What does it say? 1915, it says. Oh, wow. Lester K. Wow, this is very bad quality. Months in school, 1914. Public. What number is that supposed to be? I can't even tell what number that's supposed to be. Dang. Years in Iowa, 11. So he would be 11 around this time. So this could be around the time when this photo was taken. Church affiliation, Baptist. Military service, no. Okay. Nothing else there. This is actually a pretty good one. Actually has some good information. Extent of education, grammar, 6. So he did maybe go to grammar school a little bit. Maybe he didn't go to high school. Who knows? Back then, a lot of kids, just like worked from a very young age. Are there any other census records here? No. Okay. Let's... Hold on. There was also... I think there was more stuff with... Was it this one? Like things that weren't the same. I just want to see if there's any new stuff here. No. Okay, that's all the same. And then... Yeah, same with all this. Oh yeah, was there a city directory here? Yeah, okay, let's look at the city directory and see when and where it's from. Oh, whoa, this is from 1973. That's such a jump. That is such a big jump. But it is him, yeah, Miriam. And this is when they were... Okay, so then they moved to Santa Barbara. Yeah. Lester G. That's him. At this point, he's retired, which makes sense. He'd be 70. So maybe he, it's classic, story of like, leaving Chicago, leaving the cold weather, and moving to sunny California. Retiring in California. Okay. So that's the latest thing we have so far for him. Oh wait, we have this one. We didn't even look at this one. This is from 1925. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, Lester. He's 21. His parents are 54. Does it say what they do? Education and literacy. He completed... Okay, hold on, wait. He completed how many years, or how much school did he complete? College or university. State. Number of years attended. 2. Okay, wait, so he went to a state college. Okay, so so he did go to school. All right, we have ads starting soon. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the research until the ads are done. Let me move this, because I try to keep things in order. I like to keep my tabs in order of, like, what, oh, whoops, hold on. So that way it's like, okay, birth records at the beginning, then the earliest census records that we have, 1910 census, 1915 census, the 19... Wait. There we go, 1920 census, the 1925 census, and yeah, so on and so forth. I like to keep things in order. This is for a Lester Jones, so that's not who we're looking for. And while the ads are going, I'm going to use this time to go to the bathroom real quick and stretch my legs. So I suggest you all do the same. Go ahead, stretch your legs, drink some water, and I'll be back in just a second. All right, I am back. Let's see, how are ads doing? I think we're almost done with the ads. All right. And once the ads are done, we'll go ahead and continue where we left off. I think what we'll do... hello, Heyon. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Let's see. Are ads over? All right, I think... All right, yes, ads are over. All right, sweet. So, let's see. So for those of you who are just joining, we're currently researching the guy above me, who we do know is a man, or in this case, this photo is from when he's a boy, by a name of Lester, either Cates, one of those pronunciations. We know he was born in Iowa, in rural Iowa in 1903. Later moved to Chicago. Specifically, in 1930, he was living at the YMCA and in the Sears Company apartments. And then later in life, when he's married in this 1940 census, he's an auditor for a department store. And so that makes me think that he's working for Sears, probably, because I guarantee you they had a department store in Chicago. That would make sense. And then in 1950, he says he's a profit analyst, and it says retail mail order, which is also what Sears did. So, that's my theory, is that he was working for Sears. And then, okay, let's look at some of the other records here and see if we have anything. Oh, wait, yeah, this is the other thing, was his World War II draft record. Or draft card. Okay, this is when he was, Forest Park, Cook, Illinois. So this is when he was still living near Chicago. 1483 South Elaine, or Elgin. South Elgin. 38 years old. Birthplace Seymour. Yep, this is him. December 12th, 1903. Miss Marion T. Kate, that's his wife. Sears, yeah, he works for Sears. Sears Roebuck Company. Wow, all right. So yeah, so he does work for Sears. That's cool. I don't think we've had anybody that's like worked for a department store like this before. Because he like works properly. He doesn't like, he's not like a clerk or something like that, like, or a salesman. He's like actually, you know, profit analyst and auditor. Like he is in the company. And what was he doing in 1930? Hold on, I forget. Oh, he was a clerk for a telephone manufacturer. Okay. So maybe before he started working at Sears. Okay. So we have all the census records, and we have, I think, pretty much everything that's currently on Ancestry. Well, actually, let's look here real quick and just look at all these things. So we have all these census records. We have that census record. We have that record. We have that city directory. Okay, yeah, so pretty much all the things that are listed here. But let's see if we look up... I'm curious if there are more city directories. So now that we know his full name, and we now know... We know his birth year, 1903, in Iowa. And spouse is... It's Marion, right? Marion, yeah, okay. It's not Marion with an O, it's with an A. And we know he lived in... I'll just put Cook County, because he wasn't living at times specifically in Chicago, but kind of in like the whole like Chicagoland area. Okay, yeah, all this stuff that we've already seen. Let's go... I don't think there are going to be any more census records because he's already... We've already found all of those. About any marriage or death certificates? Marriage and divorce. Oh, and let's do state for that. Okay. Marriage. Okay. Yeah, 1935. That sounds about right. We'll look for that later because these are newspaper articles, and so when we look through newspapers.com, we'll look at those closely. I just wanted to see if there were any actual like certificates, like marriage certificates, but it doesn't look like it. And even like, okay, and then directories, phone directories, those are all modern. Okay, here we go. 1949, 1950, and 1951. No, this is not... That's not the right person. Yeah, these are Lester R. Rockford. Okay, no, so that's not that. So wow, he's not in any Chicago area city directories, even though he clearly lived in Chicago for at least 20 years. Interesting. Okay, if that's the case then. Where else should we look? I mean, there's not really much else here with that info. Is the military thing just going to be his one draft card that we've already seen? Yep, it is. Okay. Okay, next thing I want to do then, I want to see if we can find some of some more military records. Just see if there are possibly any more military records with this. I doubt it, because he seems like, he was, we do have his, it might just be the draft card, because he was, before, World War II, he was in his, like, mid to late 30s, so he's definitely not getting, like, the young, like, the official, like, draft. So, okay, so Lester, I'll look up Lester George, full name. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so here we go. According to Fold 3, the only thing we got is the same draft card we already found. That's the only thing that comes up. What if we change it so that's just Lester? And we specifically do it. Probably, yeah, I mean, World War I, he'd be way too young. World War II. Illinois? Because he'd be living in Illinois at the time. Lester creates Door, Lester Royce, Lester George. Lester C. Lester James. Lester C. Yeah, it doesn't look like... Doesn't look like he served. Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay. So yeah, so there's nothing here in terms of that. Let's then see if we can find... Let's see if we can find a grave. Because nothing came up in terms of ancestry for Find a Grave. And we have, everything for him. So we should hopefully be able to find it. So Lester Cates. And now, while he was living in California when he died, I don't know if he was buried in California or if he was buried back in Iowa or in Illinois. But I think if we just have the year 1903, we should hopefully be able to find him. Wow, really? Nothing. Nothing at all. If we get rid of... Okay. Lester Bill, Lester Carl, no, no, Gary, no. No, nothing. None of these dates match. It'll be... Because hold on, his, if we go back here, his parents have graves. In Iowa, in Wayne, Iowa. So if we look up, hold on, if we look up him, Miriam Cates. Okay. There we go, here it is. This is him. Wow, yeah, and it doesn't list any of their kids either. Lists her parents, but it doesn't list any of her kids. That's crazy, especially because his death is pretty recent. The fact that we don't have anything at all. What about one of his brothers? Hold on. Let's see, let's go back. His brothers... His first brother's name was Kenneth. One of his brothers. He was born in 18... Oh, there's... Hold on. He was born in 1895. There we go. Okay, he's buried. He's buried in Illinois. Kenneth E. Is that right? Yeah, Kenneth Ellsmer. So that's him. So he's buried in Illinois. Ronald. Let's see if we can find Ronald. And Ronald was born in 1898. Okay. There we go, Ronald Edward. Father Hiriam. Okay, yeah, this is... Oh, but he's not... He's also buried in Illinois. So apparently it seems like all of them moved to Illinois. All of his brothers and everything moved to Illinois at some point. If they're all buried there. Okay, so interesting. But we don't have a picture of his grave, but we have, like, I guess, a record that he is there. So then... That's crazy that we can't find Lester. Okay, can't find his grave. That's been a while since we haven't been able to find the grave of somebody. I feel like. Most of the time we've been pretty lucky and have been able to find at least something. Okay. Let's now go ahead and let me pull up family search. pull up Family Search and see if we can find any other records of his. All right, so Lester Cates, born 1903. Okay, here we go. Looks like we got some stuff for him. Lester George. Okay, California destined to attach the tree. Okay, that's what we want. Okay, source is 11, so honestly, probably not going to have that much more information than what we already have. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we have both him and his wife, siblings. No children listed, even though we do know they had at least one son. Let's see what sources they have for him. Yeah, the births, birth records, delayed birth. Yeah, we already saw that. 1910 census, 1950 census. Yep. Saw all those. Death index, California. No. Nothing. Nothing new there, but I did see... Where was it? This one? Was it under here? What is... Hold on, wait, where's the... That's not what I clicked on. Is this a merit certificate? Event date 1935. Unfortunately, we can't... I don't think we can... Yeah, we have to go to an actual... an actual Family Search Center in order to look at it. But it does have the information here. If they did get married, he was 31, she was 26, in 1935. Which does make sense because we see him by himself in the 1930 census. Yeah, in the 1930 census. And then Marion is comes into the picture in the 1940 census. All right. Well, we're finding a lot of stuff quickly with this one compared to our previous ones that we've been doing. So let's... Okay. Now that Family Search doesn't really have anything more, we don't have a grave for him. Let's have a little bit of, for the sake of fun, let's see if we can figure out where, if any of these places that he lived are still around. Well, 1930 he was in the YMCA. 1920 census, okay. 1115 Wall Street? That's in Seymour. Does Seymour have a Wall Street? It's not that big. Wilson, Maine, Lee, Louisiana, Young, making... Oh yeah, Wall Street. It does have a... Okay, so let's see if their 1920 house still exists. Yeah, East Wall Street. Oh. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Is that it? Oop. It doesn't really... It looks longer. Why does that not look like the same as like from the top? Hold on. Because like... Yeah, wait. Hold on, 109... Wait. That doesn't look right. Is this off? Because, yeah, like, that's not... Hold on. Is it actually here? No, wait. Because that... Wait, yeah, I think the street view is off. Because look, that house and this house... If we put this down here... Hold on. I'm getting confused. I feel like the street view is off. Wait, hold on. Let's look at the street signs. Okay, park. Are we on... Is this park? Oh, shoot. Come on. What is it? Hold on. That wasn't park, right? No, it is. So it is a block off. Because if I go to this corner here... Wall in second. Yeah, it's a block off. The Google Street View is off by a block. That's crazy. I've never seen that before. And I use Google Street View a lot. And I've never seen that happen before. Second and third. Yeah, it's a block off. I don't know why also that this is like showing up as blue. But the thing that we actually want... So we want to go to actual park. Where's park? This is... second. So it's actually this block down here. Wow, I was getting really confused for a second. I thought I was like going crazy that like things weren't matching up properly. Okay, so this is park. So that means the house that we want is it's this one, right? That's 115, right? Yeah, between Park and... Oh, wow, wait, there's 2 second streets? What? Oh, that's so confusing. There's an East 2nd Street and like a West 2nd Street? A North... Wow, that is so confusing. Dang, this town's street view has been really screwed over. Feel bad for them, almost. Yeah, so between Park and 2nd is what we actually want. So I think in order to actually properly get that, I have to put it down here. Because that's Park. And this is 2nd. Oh, wait. That's why it's off. It's not officially done by Google. It's by just some random guy who... I just should have realized that when I realized this is just a truck. Jason, you messed up. Everything's a block off. You messed up, Jason. But yeah, so this house right here, this is it. That's the house. And that looks about right. That looks like a house that would be around in the 20s. Okay, so they have a house that still exists. One of his childhood homes still exists. 115 Wall Street. Okay, and then 1930 is the YMCA, and then 1940, we know they're living in Oak Park on Humphrey, and on 911 Humphrey. And it looks like a couple people live in some of these buildings. So this is probably not going to be an individual house. It's probably going to be like a shared house or like a duplex maybe. Okay, so 911 Humphrey, Oak Park. Okay, let's get out of here. All right, so okay, there's a north and a south. Unfortunately, we don't know which one. Let's try north. Oh, okay. Okay, this is just like regular houses. Just like, you know, kind of like small regular houses. And it looks like, yeah, okay, that's it. This one right here. Yeah, which definitely looks like, it definitely looks within the style of like being around in 1940. But let's try south. Just to see. Okay, well now it's... This one doesn't exist anymore. Now it's a... Or are those apartments? They're apartments. And those actually... 909... 905... Okay, no, this is it. I thought it was it looked like from the top, it looked like a shopping complex. But no, these are the apartments. And again, these look within the style or the time. So actually, and because there are multiple people listed as living there, this is it. That's actually really cool. A lot of times these apartment buildings don't survive that long. A lot of times they're torn down, you know, to make something newer. I like the brickwork. I like the brickwork and like the facade work here. I think it looks really nice. Okay. Okay, so then that's the 1940. Is that the same as the... No, okay, so on his draft card in the 1942 one, 14, I'm pretty sure that's an 83. 1483 South Elgin Forest Park. Okay, so 1483... Oh, wait, was it north or south? South Elgin. Elgin Avenue, Forest Park. Okay, there is no 1483 according to this. But there are a bunch of houses. Whoa, and look how all of them... have like the separate garage behind them in the back alley. Whoa, look at that. That's crazy. I've never seen it like that where it's that consistent. Like all of the garages are behind the building, like, or behind the house like that. Wow. But it stops at 1443 here. Could it be a 1443? Or 1473? But 73 also isn't there. I mean, 1443 does exist, but they already have a 4 here, so you would think that the 4 would look the same. In terms of, like, the handwriting, that the handwriting would be the same. Okay. Okay. So, in the 1950 census, 815 North Culen? Cuylen? Okay, we'll try that. Culen, it looks like. So 815 North Culen. Or is it Kyler? Is it Kyler? Or Culer? It is. That's what it is. Cuyler. Oak Park. Boom, look at that. Wow, a lot of these houses... It's crazy how a lot of these houses have still survived. Yeah, living on like kind of the outskirts. Or the suburbs of Chicago. Yeah, that's it. It still exists. Is it 815? It's this one with the tree in front. Maybe like a little bit closer. Oh, now we got this pole in the way. But yeah, that's it. Look at that. Oh, whoa, and it has brick siding. Wow. I feel like a lot of these don't normally have brick siding. Normally they have like wood. But yeah, that's it. Wow, so almost all of these houses still exist, which is actually crazy. That we've been able to find pretty much like all of them. That's kind of a rarity when doing this research nowadays. Okay, so... I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to newspapers. All right. Let's move on to newspapers and see what more details. I'm surprised. This one was actually a lot easier to research than I thought it was going to be. I was totally expecting, like, you know, because this one had like the least amount of information and because it was in, you know, Des Moines, Iowa, which is a bigger city, I thought that it was going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be really hard to, you know, figure out. Okay, so Lester, let's try this first, and so we'll start 1903. Let's just do 1910. And let's just do Iowa. Let's see if we get anything. Nothing. Okay. Also, I don't remember changing it to dark mode. I didn't even know newspapers.com like had a dark mode. I guess it's a little easier on the eyes. Because the other day, from the last stream that we did on Sunday, that stream, we had so many newspaper articles. Like I need to count like how many files there were. Like it was insane. There were so many newspaper articles that we had. I think the most I've ever done. That, like, as I was downloading them, because after every stream, like, the next day, I, like, download all of the articles that we found. I got, like, an error from newspapers.com saying too many downloads in a certain amount of time, because that's how many there were. It was insane. I've never had that happen before because there were so many. But it looks like for Leicester here, we might not have that problem. Let's see if George brings up anything. Nothing. Okay. Let's change it to 1911 to 1920. Okay. Let's change it to Leicester. Oh. Okay, hold on. We got one newspaper article here from 1911. Kennetta and Lester Cates went to Lineville Wednesday to visit their uncle Charles Cates and family. Oh wait, Kenneth. Yeah, that's him. It was the H was like weirdly like blocked. That's Kenneth. Yeah, so that's them. So 1911, he would have been 8 years old. So they're traveling. They're traveling to Lineville to go visit their Uncle Charles. Okay. So we found something at least. For all of 1911 to 1920. Okay, so let's try 1921 then, 1930. And then after that, we'll switch to Illinois. Okay. 1922. May 3rd. Oh, yeah, I need to make it... Hold this on the top. HomeNet tournament starts at Des Moines University. Des Moines University tennis fans started their annual home tennis tournament yesterday afternoon by the pairing of entrants for the first round of the men's singles matches. 5 rounds will have to be played in order to determine the winner of the meet. Considerable interest is being shown in the tournament as there are several good players among the entrants, and it is impossible to tell what the result may be. The pairings of the first round are the followings. And that's his name. 1922, he'd be 19. So he could definitely be at Des Moines University. So that could be him. And I mean, the fact we haven't also had any other, Lester Cates. I still don't know which one it is. And I'm going to continue to go back and forth between the two. Okay, so then I think the other article that we saw here is it the next day? Or is it just another advertisement for it? Or is it the same thing? Oh no, it's just the same article. Oh, so we don't even know. Okay, so did he go to Des Moines University? What was it that we found that said that he did go to college? Was it the 1950 census? No, it wasn't the 1950 census. Which one was it? Oh, wait, also, I just realized we never looked at the other side of his registration card. Yeah, we never learned his details. So he's 5'9", blue eyes, 185 pounds, gray hair. Wow, he already had gray hair when he's only, not even 40. Ruddy complexion. None to my knowledge. Hold on, wait. What does that say? Mass... something scar? Right hand? Right, no, it looks like ear? Right ear. Something scar right ear. So he has a scar on his right ear. Unfortunately, I can't tell what is that word? Moss toad? Hold on. Let me try to Google some things real quick. No, yeah, I don't know what... Mass? Mastoid? Oh, yeah, it is mastoid. Okay, it's the term mastoid. Mastoid scar. Mastoid is a part of the temporal bone on the posterior back part of the temporal bone, one of the bones in the skull, like right by the ear. Okay, so he has a scar there. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So he has this, yeah, so he has a scar. Basically they're saying he has a scar on his right by his right ear. Wonder how he got it. Okay. Let's head back to our... Maybe he got in tennis. Who knows? If this is him. But what was the thing? I just realized what we were supposed to... We were trying to find a thing that said that he went to... Because there was a thing that said he went to college, right? Where was it? Was it this one? The 1915 census says that he is in grammar school. Like 6, so like 6th grade, probably? Oh my god, what was it? I know there was a thing here that said he went to college. Or is my brain just like misremembering things because because I've been looking at this for too long. Was it this one? Yes, it was this, the 1925 census. Which is... Because this is from 1922. So yeah, so it would have been after college. Okay, yeah, it was this. So it was this one. Because it says, yeah, Lester, son, 21. Which actually isn't right. He'd be 22. Or maybe he might be 21. But it says it right here, yeah, 2 years underneath the column for college or university. So he went for 2 years, maybe? Or he had, by this point, been there for 2 years? About 2 years? Maybe he didn't finish. He might not have finished, maybe. He just went there for like 2 years to like take some classes. And then let's change it to Lester George and see if there's anything there. Nope. Okay, so now let's change it. I'm gonna get so that it's Cooks County, specifically Illinois. Okay, nothing here during that time. And nothing during that time either. We should, hopefully, at least in this one, get his marriage, because it says... Hold on, no, because we found that thing on Ancestry that said there was a newspaper for his marriage. Where was it? Yeah, marriage index. Oh, they got married in Missouri? Or no, this is a thing from... Okay, no, she's from Missouri. This is her... This is Marion, his wife. Marion is from Missouri. They said marriage... Okay, well, let's actually just read it real quick before we go any more crazy with it. Miss Marion Todd wed. Miss Marion Todd, daughter of J.C. Todd of this city, and Lester G. Cates, son of Mr. and Mrs. H. Cates of Seymour, Iowa, were united in marriage Thursday evening in Fair Oaks Presbyterian Church, Oak Park, Illinois. Mrs. Cates is a graduate of Algona, Iowa High School and of University of Iowa. She is a registered nurse and was assistant superintendent of the Washington County, Iowa Hospital. Wow, okay. Mr. Cates is employed in the accounting and merchandising department of Sears, Roebuck & Co. home office in Chicago. Okay, there we go. Oh, hey, Marv, good to see ya. Oh, it's Algona? It's Algona? Okay. I am terrible at pronouncing things, so you're probably right. Algona. Okay. Yeah, Algona. Okay. They would make their home in Oak Park, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Miss Caroline Todd of Princeton, sister of the bride, attended the wedding. Okay, so maybe it wasn't that big of a wedding then. You've heard it a few times. Oh, okay, that makes... Then I'll take your word for it then, if you've actually heard it said out loud. Algona. All right, well, I think that's the only time I'm going to say, because I doubt there are going to be any other articles we find that say it. Okay, but that's why I wasn't finding it. So if that's... Hold on. What is this one then? Because there's another one listed here. Where's this one from? This is from Iowa City, Iowa. Announcements have been made receive of the marriage of Miss Marion Todd, formerly of Washington, Iowa, to Mr. Lester G. Gates of Chicago, which took place in Fair Oaks Presbyterian Church, Oak Park, Illinois, on April 4th. The bride is a daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J.C. Todd of Princeton, Missouri, and a graduate of the University of Iowa School of Nursing. She was employed as assistant superintendent at the Washington County Hospital until March 1st. Mr. Cates is a son of Mr. and Mrs. H. Cates of Seymour, Iowa. He is connected with the auditing department of Sears Roebuck Company in Chicago, where the couple will be at home. Whoops, sorry, I hope you guys didn't hear that. I accidentally hit my microphone stand there. Okay, so wow, so the one place I thought maybe it wouldn't be I guess it would make sense that they would put the marriage article where the families still lived. They still lived in Iowa and they still lived in Missouri, and they weren't living in, like, they probably didn't have that many connections. Hold on. Okay, because hold on, if I change it to Iowa during this time, yeah, these are all... Okay, so he is still... Wow, okay, so there's more in the 30s than there were in Iowa than in any of the other ones. Because I think... Is this the one that we already read? According to a word received here, a marriage license was issued to Lester G. Gates of Oak Park, Illinois, and Miss Marion L. Todd of Washington of Chicago, the forepart of the week. Okay, so that's just another thing talking about their marriage. I feel like we haven't gotten this many letters, because like the last two people I think we researched, if I remember correctly, when we researched them, we didn't find like anything about their marriages. Like, we couldn't find anything, no newspaper articles or anything. And it's crazy that now for this one, we find so many, like, so many articles about it. Okay, this is the same thing that we just read. Let's see. What about this one? Former unit. Okay, yeah, that's the one that we already saw. What's this one? Personnel's. Mrs. Lester Cates of Oak Park, Illinois, is a guest in the Fred Robeson home, 741 Grant Street. Okay, so probably visiting family. And then... Okay, yeah, that's the same thing. And is this the same thing? Oh. Fred Roberson, fet out-of-town guest at picnic Saturday. Mr. and Mrs. Fred Roberson, 741 Grant Street, entertained at a picnic Saturday evening at the city park in honor of Miss Lester Cates of Oak Park, Illinois, who has been visiting friends in the city. Present were the host's family, Mr. and Mrs. W. W. Hain, and children, Gretchen and Billy, Dr. and Mrs. Henry Stoffel, Dr. and Mrs. T.L. Waring, and daughter Marjorie, Miss Beatrice Annis, and the honoree. Dang, she got like a whole thing for her. Okay. Before we keep going, I do see we have ads about to start. So I'll go ahead and take a little bit of a break while the ads are going, and then we'll continue going through these newspapers and seeing what we find. All right. Let me go ahead and take a little bit of a water break real quick while these ads are going. This one has been really interesting so far. Not as interesting in terms of like the stories that we got compared to like the last one, but interesting in terms of like the fact that we were actually able to find anything, because I honestly thought this one was going to be way more difficult than it actually was. I mean, there is like, you know, the possibility that maybe this isn't I'm not looking at the right person, but I mean, but there weren't any other, if I go back here, like there weren't any other Lester Cates living in Iowa. Like if we get rid of all this stuff and just change it, actually, yeah, what if we just change to any event, just Iowa. I'm just doing this real quick while the ads are going, just to... Okay, hold on. This one is interesting. Maine U.S. births. Lester Cates. This person was born in Maine. Hold on. What is... Hold on. I'm only looking at this just because they were living in Maine. Did they go to Iowa at all at any point? Hold on, wait. Let's go back to the 1910 one? No. Okay, the 1900 one? Okay, there is no Lester listed under their kids. So then where did... Maybe the kid didn't live that long? But again, there's... But there's nothing else. There's no other kids listed. Hold on. I'm just checking some stuff just because... Oh yeah, no, that's not right. Just checking some stuff just to see, make sure that truly for sure that I am looking at the right person, which I'm pretty sure I am. The only reason that it stuck out to me is because this one says that this person was born in Maine, and I bought this photograph when I was in Maine. Because as of right now, there's no other connection to how our Lester George Cates, how this photo could have ended up in Maine. Because hold on, yeah, what if I change it? What if I change it to Maine? And specifically to this. Okay, so that's the only... Okay, never mind. So that's the only record. That's the only record for this Lester case. Okay, I don't know. So this isn't the person we're looking for. That's the only thing that they have. So yeah. All right. It looks like the ads are done. For those of you who were in ads, I was just double checking to make sure that there wasn't maybe another Lester Cates that this could be. And I only was looking at this Maine one because I bought this photograph in Maine, and I'm trying to figure out right now like how this photograph could have gotten to Maine. Yeah. And all these other ones are born too late. Carolina, Arkansas. How many Lesters are there? 205. let's go ahead and let's go back to these newspapers. Because again, I'm pretty sure this is the right Lester that we're looking for. Okay, so let's now change this to 1941 to 1950. Cook County, Illinois. Okay, we got a few things here. 1943, 1940. Okay. What's this one? Blood donors. The following persons from Forest Park gave their blood at the Red Cross Blood Donor Center, 5 North Wabash Avenue, Chicago, during the period from December 22nd to 29th. And we're added. And there he is, Lester Cates, 1423. Okay, so that's what that's supposed to be. That's a oh, it's a 2. Okay, I kind of see it now. I kind of see it now. So it is wait, so it's 1423. So hold on. Look at that. Again, the house still exists. It's this one? I think. A little hard to tell because the person next to them decided to block that they didn't, you know, block their house. So it's very difficult to actually read it. You have the most fabulous reactive I've ever seen. Oh, you mean the PNG? Thank you so much, Ocean. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I figured, you know what? It's not only a good, it works because it's history related, because it's an old painting, it's a funny meme, and it's public domain, so it's, so it's free. Works out in so many different ways. I greatly appreciate it. I mean, I have thought about, like, doing something else. Like, initially this was just, like, supposed to be temporary before I, like, got something else. But now, honestly, I feel like it's so ingrained with my, like, with, my channel and my, like, kind of identity that I feel like if I change it, it would be, like, it wouldn't be me anymore. I don't know. Okay, so we do... Okay, so yeah, so we found... Wow, we found all of their, Yeah, we found all of their houses. That's crazy. Like, pretty much every house that we had an address for, it actually still exists today. That's a rarity. The way the face leans close to the text is such a mood. 10 out of 10, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly why it works so well, too, because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of reading streams. And it just works so well. I'm very happy that not only that worked out, but that also people see the joke and see the humor in it too. Okay. So yeah, okay, so he was donating blood. This is during World War II, so that's probably why he was donating. And then this is later that year, November 11th. You're looking for this boy's history? That's fat. Yes, I am. So, to just give you a quick rundown, we know his name on the back of it is written is a boy. His name is Lester Cates, and we know that the photo was taken in Des Moines, Iowa, but we didn't know the year. But we found a birth record for a Lester George Cates in 1903, which is around this time that this took place, in Iowa. So we're pretty sure that this is him, this Lester George Cates. And we know, we found a bunch of his census records. We know that he grew up in Iowa and then eventually moved to Chicago area, and got married in 1935 to a woman named, oh, well, where is it here? I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Here it is. Marion. And that he worked for Sears, for the Sears Company. For the Sears Roebuck Company, which we see listed here on his World War II draft card. And right now we're going through newspapers, trying to see if we can find any newspaper articles that talk about him. And so far we've found just a few, nothing much for his early life. We found a lot of newspaper articles for his marriage here. And right now, the most recent one we found, it looks like he's donating blood a lot during World War II. The following persons from Forest Park gave their blood to the Red Cross blood donor service during the period from October 11th to October 23rd. The blood donor service is one of the Red Cross activities supported by the American Red Cross War Fund. Figures before names indicate number of donations. So there he is right there. Is that a 5? It's a little hard to see because of the highlight right there. Hold on. Because if I do this... Yeah, that's a 5. That's not a 3. That looks different from the other 3s there. Wow. He was donating a lot of blood. If he did it 5 times from October 11th to October 23rd. Can you tell how old he would have been when he was donating? Yes, so this is 1943. We know he was born in December of 1903. So he would have been 39 this is just before his 40th birthday. So he would have been 39 years. So he wouldn't, he's not like young, but he's still, like young enough that like you could still do something like this. Yeah, and 5 times. That's insane. In a 12-day period, he's basically going like every other day to donate blood. Which, I mean, I don't know how much blood they take out of you when they were doing this, and how quickly it takes for you to like rejuvenate that blood. And I don't know what his blood type was. Maybe he had like a very important like blood type. Huh. Might have a family member been sick? Maybe, but I think it's more because this was specifically, as you can see here, it says American Red Cross War Fund. This is in the middle of World War II. So this was likely... Oh, World War notwithstanding. Maybe, or maybe he just, had somebody, maybe he had relatives that were serving and wanted to, like, maybe he wanted to help out. This was maybe just like his way of like, because he couldn't, maybe for whatever reason, he couldn't serve in the war because he was older. That maybe this was like his way of like helping, donating to the war effort. It's typically a few weeks before you can donate again, now at least. Wow, yeah, that's... If it's a few weeks for today, how woozy is Lester getting when he's doing this? Yeah, exactly. His way of contributing to the effort, exactly. Okay, and then this next one, July 27th. Whoa. Hold on. What does this say? Lester Cates gives blood 9 times? Over what period, though? The following persons from Forest Park gave their blood recently at the Blood Center at 5 North Wabash Avenue, Chicago. Figures before the names indicate number of donations. Yeah, 9. He's blowing everybody else out of the water. Jesus. I mean, we don't know how many... Or actually, wait, hold on. If we go back to that other one... Okay, so actually, hold on. Maybe, now that I'm looking at this, maybe this isn't... He gave blood 5 times in this amount of time. I think it was just these are the people who went in between October 11th and 23rd. And this was his 5th time going during that time period. I think that's what it means. I think that makes way more sense than him donating blood 5 times in like a 12-day period. There's no way that a human body would be able to do that. So I think what they're saying with this is that this is the 5th time he's gone during this time period. Like he did number 5. And then this is saying by this time, which is about a little under a year later, or about 9 months later, roughly. Yeah, about 9 months later, he's gone there 9 times throughout the whole, I guess, war effort when they started doing this. Wow, that is crazy. To donate blood that many times. Okay. And then this is October of that year. Lester S. Cates is 10 times blood donor. The following persons from Forest Park gave their blood recently. Okay, yeah, same thing. But yeah, 10 times. And Margaret is starting to kind of catch up. I don't think she's going to catch him 10 times. Jeez, he is a blood donating machine. Oh, and look at that. Just about, hold on, is that a year? A little under, or like 8 months later, we got 11 times. He's still holding the record. 11 times donor. Yeah, for the same blood center. But Gertrude was, this name came out of nowhere. Wow. Okay, so here's another one from 1946. I think, okay, so after this, yeah, the war's over at this point. So they're not doing the blood drive anymore. What is this? Serves as local chairman. Lester, oh wow, this is terrible quality. Lester G. Cates, 1423 Elaine Avenue. Oh god, this is so bad. Is returning this month from god, this is horrible. Serves as local chairman. For what? Conversation by peace. He's returning this month from somewhere to something, meeting of... God, ugh. That's the problem with some of these old, uh, what is it called? Oh my god, I'm blanking. Why am I blanking on the word? Uh, Microfilm, like, copies, is that sometimes the quality that they were copied at is not good, and you have a lot of just fadedness that didn't transfer fully. So yeah, I don't know. I can't tell what he was a chairman of, unfortunately, with that, because that is just it's so broken up. A meeting of something moving to? Yeah, I have no idea. Yes, I did. I did. Ocean floor. I did say Gertrude. That was which one was it? Here. Oh yeah, Gertrude was here. Gertrude was in second place for the amount of blood that was donated, but Lester has the record. Second place was Gertrude. She got close with 9, but Lester got it. Okay. Let's see. These are the same. U of C alumni conduct annual fund campaign. Westside University of Chicago alumni working in the 6th Annual Alumni Foundation gift campaign include the Reverend Walter S. Pond, Miss Rose, okay, a bunch of names. Okay, so he's right here. Lester G. Gates, Forest Park. Interesting. So did he go to University of Chicago? Because I haven't found any evidence that he did. All right. The gift will be presented on Alumni Day to Ernest C. Caldwell, University president. More than 16,000 alumni living in the Chicago area. These residents usually contribute about half the total gift, although the campaign is conducted simultaneously in 400 cities throughout the United States. Apparently, he went to University of Chicago. Maybe just like he completed something while he was working for Sears. Maybe. Because this article is the same because it's from the same date. So, okay. Now here's the thing. I know that at some point, Lester does move to California, but the problem is I don't know when exactly. I know that he's living there at the latest or at the earliest 1973 because him and Miriam are in the 1973 city directory for Santa Barbara, California. So at some point between 1950, because 1950 is the last state that we know that he's officially in Chicago. So at some point between 1950 and 1973, they moved to California. So let's see if we can figure that out looking at these newspapers. But first, just one more quick search here. Nothing. Okay. Actually, let me... Wait, is there nothing? Okay, nothing for Iowa during that time. Columbia, Illinois, Lester R. Okay. I just wanted to double check to make sure that those things weren't there. So let's try 1951 now. to 1960. Okay, so only one thing. Mr. and Mrs. W.E. Morgan and the family, and Mr. and Mrs. Frank McGath of Mount Vernon visited in the home of Mrs. Lester Cates Sunday. Wow, so that's the only thing in that entire decade, 1953. And that's not even, that's in Jefferson County. That's not even in Chicago. But there are some for California. What county is Santa Barbara in? Let's see. Oh, it's literally Santa Barbara County. Okay, then. That answers that question. That makes it easy. And I don't see Santa Barbara County on here. Most of these are Bay Area. Santa Clara, San Joaquin, Solano, Sonoma. Okay, let's try this Los Angeles one. Lester D. Cates, Lester D. Okay, nothing there. Let's try Lester. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, because none of these other counties are Southern California. Except for Orange County. What's the Orange County one? Lester D. Okay, yeah, no, that's not him. Okay. Let's change this to 1961. Maybe they were living somewhere completely different during that time, and we just don't know. They could have maybe moved from Chicago to somewhere else. Oh, okay, hold on. Santa Barbara County. Okay, there we go. So they moved. Okay, 1966 is when we start to see things. Okay, so that's probably when they moved, around that time, in the mid-60s. Let's see what this one says. Choosing assignment in the medical care and treatment field was John C. Gates, son of Mr. and Mrs. Lester G. Cates of 160 Santa Elena Lane. Cates attended high school in Glen Ellen, Illinois. Is this 17 young men joined Army? Oh, okay, so their son joined the Army. And as far as I know, this is their only kid. Unless we find an obituary that says otherwise, this is their only child, John. Because he shows up, he's the only kid listed in the 1950 census. Yeah, John C. So it looks like that's their only son. And we know that so they're already established because they have an address in Santa Barbara. So they were already living there in 1966. So they moved probably sometime before 1966. We just don't know exactly when. 17 men enlisted in the Army. Okay, yeah, so this is another Army thing, and there he is listed there. 160 Santa Elena Lane, Santa Barbara. Okay. Okay, here's another thing. This is going forward to 1968. Mrs. Glenn Wade, new president of Newcomers Club. Was installed president of the Welcome Wagon Newcomers Club at a luncheon yesterday at El Canto Hotel. Also installed were... Oh, here we go. New committee chairmen were our members Lester G. Cates, name tags. So he was in charge of name tags, I guess? Wow, so for a whole... They had to have a whole committee and a whole group to help to create name tags for somebody. Wow. A whole thing for just name tags. All right. So then let's see. What's the next thing? Oh, here. Wait. What's this? 1968. Oh. Lester G. Cates, a retired. Okay, so he's retired at this point. Shoe buyer from Sears, Roebuck and Co. Chicago, is a new member of the Cosmopolitan Club. Cates, who holds a doctorate in electrical engineering from the University of Chicago, lives with his wife, Miriam, at 160 Santa Elena. Okay, so he was a... No, he holds a doctorate. He's a doctor. Holds a doctorate in electrical engineering from the University of Chicago. Wow. And was specifically a shoe buyer. That was his focus when working at Sears, was shoes. So just their shoe department, which I guess makes sense that you would have, you know, whole people just for certain clothing items or just certain goods when you have a department store as wide and as diverse as Sears was. Wow. That's actually really helpful. That gives us some good information right there. And all it was talking about was that he joined the Cosmopolitan Club. May 12th. Let's see, what's this one? E.S. Spalding, headmaster, is speaker for the club. Edwin Selden Spalding, author and headmaster at Laguna Blanca School, will talk about Santa Barbara's background at the membership meeting Thursday of the Welcome Wagon Newcomers Club. Okay, so this is that same club that was before. And Mrs. Lester Cates will provide name tags. Wait, was the other one Mrs. or was it Mr.? Hold on. No, it just says Lester. Okay, so maybe they were both in it. Both him and his wife. Both him and Marion. Okay, and then June 16th, 1968. Newcomers Luncheon. Yep, and look at that. He's still doing name tags. He is still doing name tags. It's crazy that they have to have somebody like in charge. I mean, I don't know how many people are at this club, but the fact that you need somebody in charge of specifically just name tags is kind of crazy. That MDMs at the beginning of the list suggest women. Wait, is it MDMs? Hold on. Was I reading that? I thought it was... Okay, well here it's MMES. Is that like short for madams? It might be... Maybe you're right. Maybe that is short for madams. Because I have seen, it wasn't specifically, I do remember there was one time when we were doing research and it was talking about a club and it did It was all the women, but it had their husband names at the start because, obviously, unfortunately, apparently during even as late as the 1960s, women, once you got married, you just lose your name. But it wasn't MMES was the abbreviation for it at the beginning. I do remember, I think it was, as you said, Marf, MDMS. So I think maybe they are actually, this is actually Marion who's doing all this. Let's see. That's crazy, Marv. I literally just found that exact same thing that you posted from Google. I just searched it myself too. So yeah, okay, yeah. So it's women. Okay, it's all women. We were on the same brain wavelength there, because I literally just found that exact thing as you posted that in the chat. So it is short for that. Okay. Okay, so it is a women's club. Okay, let's look at this next article. Oh, that's a big list of people. Amigos volunteers get assignments. "50 Santa Barbara teenage volunteers for the Amigos de las Americas program have been notified where they will be located this summer. In Honduras, Amigos will be assigned to 17 villages around Tegucigalpa. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Tegucigalpa? Again, I apologize if I butchered that. In Guatemala, they will serve up to 11 villages and 7 villages adjacent to the Amigos headquarters. Okay. The U.S. administer immunizations against polio, tetanus, diphtheria, measles, whooping cough, and smallpox. The cost of medicines and other expenses have been borne by local or organizations and individuals, as listed below. Donors may contribute tax-deductible gifts. Oh, okay. So okay. So that's what this is saying. They donated to this group. Okay. That's what that is. What's this one? Oh, what is... We continued from D2. What page is this? D7. So, okay. As well as Mr. and Mrs. So we don't know. We don't know what they're talking about. Something with a school. And that they did something. Hold on. Should we go to 40? This is 41, and this is D7. So then it should be 36? Is this it? Yeah, D2. Okay, hold on. Something about school. Is this it? Children get a head start at part of volunteer team. Number of volunteers quadruples. At the Head Start, children enrolled in the summer program, the All Saints by the Sea Church. I think that's it. Okay, so that's what they were also volunteering for. Students. Among college and high school students who have been volunteering are Mrs. Okay. Others are John Fit. Okay, yeah, and then Miss Jane Daisy, credentialed teacher, volunteers. Okay, yeah, and then go back to page 41. Oh, what the heck? What? Why am I? Hold on. Why am I suddenly logged out? One second. That was weird. Never had that happen before. Volunteer. Okay, volunteer time, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Lester. Yeah, okay. So they're volunteering to help with this sort of like Head Start program, this sort of school program. Okay. They're volunteering a lot and donating to a lot of causes. That's what it looks like a majority of these are. Performing Arts Committee given $2,670 in April. And one of those donors was Lester. $25. $25 to the Performing Arts Committee. Yeah, so they're definitely involved in the community, even though they've only lived there for a little bit of time. Oh god, what is this? Oh, okay, this is the Amigos de las Americas planned drive for trip. And yeah, showing that both Lester and Marion are donors to this as well. This is the same... Yeah, that's the same article. What is this one? Volunteers given ARC service pins. 17 volunteers of the Santa Barbara chapter of the American Red Cross received service pins at a tea given in their honor. 40-year service pins were awarded to Mrs. Catherine Spaulding and Mrs. Lester Cates. Wow, 40 years. So Marion volunteered with the Red... Well, actually, that makes sense. Because we know in their marriage newspaper articles, she was a nurse. She was a trained nurse. So it would make sense that she would be volunteered for the Red Cross. So 40 years. That means, yeah, 1930. That would have been about when she would have, like, graduated from school. So that actually makes sense. Okay. Okay, that's also talking about that. John K. Oh, wait, hold on. Mr. and Mrs. John C. Cates are parents of John Curtis, born September 19th at Cottage Hospital. He is the brother of Elizabeth Ann. Grandparents are Mr. and Mrs. Lester Cates. All of Santa Barbara. Okay, so maybe they moved to Santa Barbara because their son was here. Because John was here for whatever reason. Maybe that was their, like, driving force to move out here. And yeah, and so they have two. So John got married and had two kids. So they have grandparents, or so they have grandkids. And I think this is... Okay, this is the same thing. I think this is the same article. Yeah, this is the same thing. Okay. So then let's go ahead and go 71 to 80. Okay, so we are getting... We are getting a few here. Let's see what we got. Drive leaders schedule meeting. Leaders of the 1971 Residential Fund campaign for the Santa Barbara chapter, American Red Cross. Okay. And then, yeah, so there's the Madam's, like, symbol again. So it's Marion who's helping with this. So she's very involved with the Red Cross, it seems, considering she's been there for, like, been part of it for, like, 40 years. By the way, let's see. GMT time zone is mean to me, but thank you so much for the fascinating stream. So like Hot One Less. Thank you so much for being here, Ocean. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to make it too. I know that, yeah, unfortunately my stream times are not great, you know, for people overseas, but thank you so much for being here though, and I hope you have a good, you know, good sleep. And I'm here, you know, every Sunday and Wednesday at this time. But sometimes I do earlier streams on, like, Saturdays, which I might do one this Saturday, but it won't be a research stream. It might be, we'll be doing probably some of one of my favorite games, 2 Point Museum, that I've been playing recently. But yeah, thank you for being here, and hope you have a good evening and a good sleep. So, okay, so this one, let's see. It was totally honest intentions to lend a helping hand that led me to the gathering of women working for the All Saints by the Sea Holiday Bazaar. Everybody was working. Among the working women and busily in the bazaar. Okay, so that's what she was working with. I'll try to catch your streams when I see them. Of course, yeah. Thank you so much, Ocean. You know, it's always great seeing people here. You know, especially new people and old people, and people. You know, just the fact that, you know, even if you're a lurker and you haven't said anything, it's just nice. Just the fact that, you know, people are actually interested in, like, watching this is. I just love it, you know. When I started doing this, I didn't think anybody wanted to watch it. The fact that people find this interesting enough to stick around is honestly, like, it doesn't even feel real, honestly. All right, so this one is also about the Holiday Bazaar at the All Saints Church. And yeah, it's just talking about them. Yeah, she was specifically in charge of plants at the bazaar. So she was in charge of making, like, selling plants. Interesting. So most of these so far have been mostly Miriam during this time. Let's see. Red Cross Motor Service observes 30th anniversary. Enjoying myself on the golf course when I knew so many people needed me, he explained. In addition to Christensen, Barge has the following volunteer drivers on his roster of unsung heroes. Keith, Tatum, Charles, Earl, Lester, Kate. Okay, so this is him. This isn't Marion. This is actually him. So they're doing like a drive. Specifically, literally a drive. Like, actually driving cars, it sounds like. He was helping out with that. Again for the Red Cross. Here's something from May. What is this? Hold on. New president. Oh, okay. Dr. Boyd E. Stark, a retired dentist, is the new president of the Cosmopolitan Club, an organization of membership limited to 275 retired professional men. Other new officers are Henry Margetts, Lester Cates, Charles Unger, and George Wharton. Okay, so he was still in the... Because we had another newspaper article that was him at the Cosmopolitan Club. So he's still there. 1973. So he's 70 now. March 17th, 1975. Drivers. Red Cross provides free transportation to ambulatory outpatients. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the drive thing again. Like a different one, like 2 years later. Drivers whose ages range from 69 to 79 include Lester Cates. Okay, yeah, and all these other people. People interested in using the free Red Cross service.
Underground fire.
Okay, so they're kind of like basically like a free taxi service for people who need help, like, you know, going to like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. That's actually really nice. Let's see, October 5th, 1975. Episcopal women to attend meeting today, Tuesday, in Ujai? Women from three local churches are expected to attend the Episcopal Church Women Deanery 1 meeting Tuesday at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. And she's one of them. Okay. So she's one of them. And then All Saints by the Sea. Okay, yeah. So this is again the church. So they're, yeah, this is the church that they're definitely a part of. Sharing of the birthday festival for Miss Arm. Okay. So it's okay. It's the 75th anniversary of their church, and she's on the committee to set up the party for it. That's what a lot of these are at this point, is just kind of their involvement with like various societies and churches and stuff like that, and charities. Humane Society shop. And Marion was helping with this one too. Okay. Let's see, is this just another... Yep, another thing for their church. Ooh, a lot of lists. But this all goes all the way, so it's like, it jumps from like 67 here, or 76, sorry, 76 to 77. For... We like what Joan B. Kearns gives Montecito, and we want more. We, the undersigned voters and residents of Montecito, have watched Joan B. Kearns in action on Montecito's water board the past 4 years. She has brought to the board a wealth of experience, a total of over 21 years as an officer and member of many prestigious state and county organizations dealing with California's complex water problems. The fact is, she has 7 times the water experience as that of all 5 of her opponents combined. The record shows that her penetrating evaluations and her common sense solutions, devoid of political rhetoric and technical gobbledygook, are on target 44 out of 100% of the time. Yet always these solutions are tempered with the compassion and keen understanding of a woman. I mean, okay. We like what she... Okay, so this is like a re-election thing, so that she'll be on the water board. Tuesday, November 8th, in 2 days. And he's on that list. So he supported her to be on the water board. Here's some more Whoa, what is this? Season's greetings to all our friends in the South Coast area from all our friends of the Cancer Foundation of Santa Barbara. Oh, so they donated to the... Okay, so this is them donating to the Cancer Foundation. Wow, they donated to a lot of organizations. And then this one from 1980. Another list. Vote yes for fire protection. Partial list of those supporting yes vote for fire protection in Montesino. Makes sense, being Southern California, you definitely want fire protection. Recent fires and other emergencies have proved their value 1,000-fold. This week, you will receive a special mail-in ballot for an election of vital importance to the safety of our homes and families. For just pennies a day, we can maintain the high level of fire protection and emergency medical services. Otherwise, these services will be seriously curtailed. We urge you to vote, or we urge you your support. Vote yes for fire protection. I feel like it's kind of hard to argue against that. Committee to maintain Montesino's fire protection. I feel like fire protection in California is kind of a hard thing to say no to. I think this is... Yeah, that's the same ad. Okay. So now let's do 1981 to 1990. Okay. Okay, I think I see two. So there's only two now, but I think I know what one of these is. Wed 50 years. Mr. and Mrs. Lester Cates of 3950 Via Real, space 41, Carpinteria, celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary, April 4th. The couple were married April 4th, 1935 in Oak Park, Illinois. Yep, and we found the newspapers to prove it. Wow. 50 years. That's always nice. So he would have been 82. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of my grandparents. My grandparents actually celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. That's really awesome that they were able to celebrate their 50th. But unfortunately, I think I know what this next one is, because I do remember seeing this on his profile. And unfortunately, Marianne does pass away in 1990. So let's go ahead and read this. This is her obituary. Marion T. Cates of Carpinteria died Friday at the home after a long illness. She was 82. Mrs. Cates was born May 24, 1908 in Oneida, New York, and moved from Glen Ellyn, Illinois to Santa Barbara in 1966. She was a graduate of the University of Iowa School of Nursing in 1930. During World War II, Mrs. Cates taught high school students to be home nurses for the American Red Cross in Chicago's suburbs. There is a 10-foot mural in the Rosenwald Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago in her honor. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, Coco, 60 years. Yeah, it was really awesome that they were able to be together for that long. She married Lester Cates on April 4th, 1935. She was a 54-year member of the PEO Sisterhood affiliated with Chapter ET in Santa Barbara. She was active with All Saints Episcopal Church and served on the Vestry Altar Guild. In addition to her husband, Mrs. Cates is survived by a son, John Curtis Cates, a sister, J.C. Castile of Santa Barbara, a brother, Floyd W. Todd of Red Wing, Minnesota, and 6 grandchildren. Wait. 6 grandchildren? John is their only son, I think. Right? Yeah. So John had 6 kids. Dang. Memorial service is planned for 2 p.m. Wednesday at All Saints by the Sea Episcopal Church. Donations may be made at the Visiting Nurse Association or the Parkinson Association of Santa Barbara. McDermott Crockett is in charge of arrangements. So 19. Wow. Okay. Hold on. The Rosenwald Museum of Science and Industry. Hold on. Let me look that up real quick. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So it looks like so the Rosenwood Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. Hold on. Rosenwood, Chicago. Hold on. See anything? Hold on. Okay, good. Ads are over. Okay. Ooh. So I'm trying to see if I can find anything about this um this mural. Uh, and I can't. I'll have to do more, I think, like more detailed research in that because we are getting near the end here. It is getting late, and we're getting close to the end here. All right. So let's go ahead. So let's make it 1991 to 1997 because I do know he does pass away in 1996. There we go. Okay, so there is an obituary there. Hold on. Oh, this is another one from Marion. Oh, reprinted to correct an error. Oh, wait, what was the error? Hold on. Marion T. Cates, who taught nursing to high school students, died Friday at her home after a long illness. She was 82. And moved from Glen, Illinois to Santa Barbara in 1966. Okay, so that is when they moved. Because that was the first newspaper we saw with them, was 1966. She graduated from the University of Iowa School of Nursing in 1930. During World War II, Mrs. Cates taught high school students in the Chicago area to be home nurses for the American Red Cross. There's a 10-foot mural in the Rosenwald Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago in her honor. She then married Lester Cates on April 4th, 1935. Mrs. Cates was a 54-year member of the PEO Sisterhood, affiliated with Chapter ET in Santa Barbara. She was active with the All Saints by the Sea Episcopal Church and served in the Vestry and Altar Guild. In addition to her husband, Mrs. Cates is survived by a son, John Curtis Cates, a sister, Santa Barbara, a brother, Floyd Todd in Redmond, Minnesota, and 6 grandchildren. Memorial service is planned for 2 p.m. Wednesday at All Saints by the Sea Episcopal Church. Donations will be sent to the... Okay, yeah, that's all the same. I wonder what was different. May 24th, 1908. Yeah, I don't remember. Nothing really seemed that different. All right, but then let's go ahead and let's look at this one. This is the last one here. This is Lester's obituary. So let's kind of learn every last little bit, see if we learn anything more. Lester G. Cates, 92, died July 14th, 1996, after a brief illness. He was born December 12th, 1903, in Seymour, Iowa, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Hiram Cates. He graduated from Seymour High School, attended Des Moines University for 2 years, and earned his BA in business from the University of Chicago in 1928. Okay, so that's when he moved to Chicago. Was to go to University of Chicago and get a BA in business. He worked for 4 years for the Western Electric Company in Cicero, Illinois. On April 4th, 1935, he married Marion Todd. They were married 55 years until her death in 1990. In 1933, Lester Cates joined Sears, Roebuck & Co. in Chicago, where he worked for 35 years. He retired in 1966. Okay, so that's when they moved, is right after he retired, and moved to Montecito. In 1981, Mr. and Mrs. Cates moved to Carpinteria. He spent the last year of his life at Friendship Manor, Goleta. A memorial service is planned at the All Saints by the Sea Episcopal Church, Montecito, at 2 p.m. on Thursday, July 18th. Memorial contributions being made to the SB, so Santa Barbara Visiting Nurse Association. Okay, that's interesting that they don't have any other, like, survivors. They don't talk about his son or grandchildren or anything like that. It's just, but we do know now specifically where he was working and when he started working, and when, again, kind of, retired in 1966. So that's why they moved to California. Wow. This has been a good one. Okay, so just a quick overview. That we started with just this photo above me and the writing on the back of it. And we were able to find all of this about him. How he was born just in a small town in Iowa. His parents were miners and restaurant owners and grocery store owners at different points. He then moved to, Chicago. And apparently for school, even though I couldn't find anything that mentioned anything about him being at University of Chicago, other than his obituary. And then working for Sears. Which was Chicago the headquarters for Sears, or was that just like a branch, like the Chicago branch of Sears? Hold on. No, okay, it was Chicago. Yes, okay. I just found it here, yeah. The Sears and Roebuck Company complex. North Lawndale in Chicago. Yeah, Marf, yeah, you're right. It is in Chicago. Wow, and so... Wow, look at that. That whole complex. That's probably where he worked. This is probably where he worked. Was in this building. And it says that today, the only surviving right here, it says the former Sears Merchant Building Tower, the sole surviving portion of the complex is merchandise building. Wow. So yeah, so that's probably where he worked. In that building. Worked in that building. And we know that while he was working there during the war, he was a big donor of blood during the war effort, donating 11 times. And then, actually, Actually, wait, hold on. One quick thing before we finish up. I just want to check. (1935 to 1966). Cook County, Illinois. Nothing. Dang it. Okay, I was hoping that like maybe there would be. That is how you spell Marian, right? I did spell that right, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. I wanted to see if maybe there was something about her like that apparently there's a mural after her in the Chicago Science Museum. But yeah, there's nothing newspaper-wise about her. I would think for something like that they would use her actual name, but apparently not. That's crazy. But wow, yeah. We know that they had a kid when they were living in Chicago and eventually moved to California, where they were very active in like various organizations and charities. And lived out the last. If they moved in 1960, if he retired in 1966, he was retired for like 30 years. Because he died in 1996. He was retired for 30 years. That's, wow. One can only dream nowadays. Unfortunately. But yeah. Really interesting stuff. And I think a good finale for all of these photographs that we started with. Yeah. Wow. But the question still remains, how did this photograph end up in the main antique store where I bought it? Because every other photo, the 3 other photos that I bought, have, like, the person in the photo did live in Maine at some point in their life. Whereas this one has no connection to Maine whatsoever. Which is crazy, which is why it's crazy to me that this picture somehow ended up in Maine, in an antique store in Maine. Who knows how it got there? Maybe it was, owned, and because none of Lester's brothers lived in Maine, as far as I could tell, or died in Maine. Like he has no, as far as I could tell, he has no connection to the state of Maine. But somehow this ended up there. But all right, yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight, folks. This has been a good one. I really liked this. This is a good finale to this journey. Considering that, again, I thought this was going to be the hardest one to research, but it turns out Lester's name was unique enough that we were actually able to find him fairly quickly. But yeah, in fact, hold on, let me pull up. Yeah, this is we were able to find every single person in these photos, which is honestly incredible. And they range in all different types of lifestyles. We have, starting at the top left, we have a boy, Clayton Grant, who was born in Maine, went on to live in Pennsylvania to work as an electrical engineer, and then moved back to Maine and lived a fulfilling life, retiring as a farmer. Next to him, we have Edna North, where we discovered that this photo is actually her college graduation photo, and this exact photo is in her college yearbook from 1904, because we were able to find the Bates College was the name of the college, and we were actually able to find the yearbook, was digitized online, and we found her photo, this exact photo, in that yearbook. And then directly below her, we have William M. or M.A., who was a German-born immigrant, was orphaned at the age of 2, emigrated to the U.S. at 18 by himself, um, joined the U.S. Army as a musician for 5 years during the Civil War, and went on to own a tailor business, a popular tailor business, for 30 years, um, and with 2 marriages, have 14 children. And then next to him, we have our final person, good old Lester Katz, one of those two, who born in rural Iowa, went on to work for the Sears department store in Chicago, and then live a long life with his wife of over 50 years, and have a child, and retire at a good for 30 years in Santa Barbara. Nothing like it's also crazy that like we have no like none of the newspapers were like for Grant or for Lester were like tragic. Almost every other person here had like some sort of like tragic newspaper like article that we found associated with them. He had like as far as we could tell, he had nothing. So it seems like he lived a pretty good calm life compared to the others here. Um but yeah. So I think that's going to do it for today, folks. Let me go ahead and make myself a little bit bigger here. All right. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's stream. If you're new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do these type of history research streams every Sunday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes though, I do a guerrilla stream where I stream just kind of whenever I feel like it. And on that note, as of right now, I think I will be doing a stream on Saturday. I don't know what time, just kind of whenever I have free time. Um, and it'll probably be continuing our 2 Point Museum expansion that we're working on. And then, so look forward to that. So if you want to know when I go live, make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button. And then, Sunday, for our next research stream, we will probably be doing something. We're done with these photos, but as I mentioned this earlier at the beginning of the stream. I recently got a huge collection sent to me by a friend of old postcards, and all of these postcards have like names and addresses on them from like the 20s through like the 40s. So we might actually research some of those and see if we can figure out who sent those postcards and learn about them. And then let's see. I also have linked down below my Twitter and my YouTube channel. And now I've had this channel for a while, but I kept forgetting to put a link here. I also have a link now to my VOD channel because I do upload these VODs to like a VOD archive. So if you want to check out some of the old VODs of some of our old streams, you can go ahead and click down there and click on that. And also check out my YouTube channel where I have some shorts of some stuff that we've researched on stream here. Also, look forward, possibly this weekend, there might be a new short. Um, there might be a new short on there that you guys can about some of the research that we've done these past few weeks on some of these photos. So look forward to that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that we normally do. Um, let's go ahead and let's see if we can find somebody to raid. And if you guys could stick around for the raid, that would be great. Let's see. Who is live right now? Uh, let's see. This is the part that always takes me a while for some reason. It always takes a while to like find somebody. Uh, let's see if we can find somebody who's also doing a reading and writing stream. Let's see. All right, so let's actually go ahead and let's raid this person. This is a streamer by the name of Ulysses. They're doing a writing and editing stream right now. So let's go ahead and show them some support and raid them. All right. Let me go ahead and get the raid going. Get the raid messages going. That one's for subscribers, and then come on. I can remember how to type. Okay. There we go. So that'll be for followers. And yeah, all right. So that's going to do it for today's stream, folks. I hope you guys had a great time. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. And I hope to see you next time. Definitely Sunday for sure, and possibly Saturday. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for being here. I've had a great time researching these photos with you guys, and hopefully, maybe I'll buy some more and we'll be able to do this again in the future. All right, have a good night, everybody. Take care.